Hey, universe! So, I get to go have a COVID-19 test at 2:30. So here at 12:59 on the 13th of April, Wednesday, April 13th, 12:59 p.m. That's Mountain Standard Time. The city is Denver, Colorado. The year is 2022, and the state of mind is rather THC'd. Because between the Skittles and watermelon, a couple of high-tech syringes, well, let's just say that no matter what, I've got a couple days off that I didn't expect because I'm being tested for COVID. What I believe is my allergies, not to mention that I rode to work this morning in 22-degree weather. Man. That is a cold bike ride no matter what direction the wind is blowing. So, having gotten to work in a rather can't stop my nose from dripping fashion, well, combine that with a rather steaming head full of sweat that made me look ill while they sent me home. Told me to go get a COVID test. So I scheduled one for 2:30 today. That's an hour and a half from now. And then me and the dog and the cat got a little sleep. So now I'm up. I'm a little high, but I'm going to get higher because why not? I don't have to go to work today. Probably don't have to go to work tomorrow because it's going to take up to 3 days to get my results back, which means I assume it will not be back tomorrow. Now, will it be back on Friday? Let's assume so, because that's the way my life goes. I'm not going to get a 4-day vacation out of this, that's for sure, and I don't even want one. Frankly, I didn't even really want today off. I had already biked to work, for fuck's sake. And then I had to bike straight home, which, at my age, a 10-mile bike ride is more bike ride than I want at 6:15 in the morning when it's 22 degrees. But I took it anyway, which is why I took a nice long nap when I got home. But now that I'm up, well, I figure I'm a few recordings behind anyhow, so we might as well take this as a win-win opportunity. I mean, except for the audience. And there are more of you now than I can possibly imagine. So if you're downloading these episodes and you're listening to these, well, understand that I'm trying to be useful. Trying not to waste your time. I don't always achieve that. I'm well aware of that because I do listen to all of them. And in fact, I just got through the drudgery of listening to 10 in a row that were pretty hard to get through. There were 2 or 3 gems and 7 diamonds in the rough. Well, let's just say 7 roughs. And so I'm not easy to listen to. I have a lot of moments of incoherence. I even say stuff that I don't agree with sometimes, but I'm not trying to do anything other than create a dialogue about trust that comes through enabling all of us to greatness in a manner that forgives us for our weakest moments, gets us past any guilt or shame those create, and puts us on a trajectory to achieve the kind of harmonic elegance I think a graceful and divine entity known as Homo sapien sapien is capable of achieving. So, does any of that really make sense to me? I don't know. I come from such a deductive reasoning scale of assessing reality. Talking about achieving divine ascension can feel phony. Well, no, it doesn't feel phony. It feels legit. Like I'm actually saying things that I, for once in my life, know are true. But can't prove. Ludicrous as that is, right? Faith and all that shit. I don't deny religious credulity for those who fall for religious insanity. But before I put you through the inanity of bong heteranity, let me just do this without you. So pause. Unpause. Alright, so oh, is that not recording? Ran into a little hiccup with the microphone on one of the previous recordings, so those 7 seconds of silence, unintended though they were, are embedded forever. I will try not to repeat the mistake, as I just was noticing right there that I possibly was. I now move on. And it isn't that I've never believed religion served purpose. I just thought it was the sort of purpose that had been paradigming its way out. And certainly for those who had moved through that barrier of, well, there must be a God, or what else could all this mean, to what if it means nothing? What if it is just that? It is. Well, that didn't seem very unreasonable. In fact, that seemed a hell of a lot more reasonable than some bearded man in the clouds saying, "Thou shalt not take that soccer ball," or "Thou shalt not take it without paying for it, including requisite taxes to the state, county, and commissioner." Thank you, God. Lesson learned. And so chaos, anarchy, the simple whimsy of matter clicking into matter, clicking into matter, clicking into matter, clicking into matter, until matter clicked into what? Earths, moons, plants, dinosaurs, snoring dogs. I mean, what is matter going to click into, right? Except for this silliness. Oh, and speaking of silliness, so we just focused on some. We're going four banger today. We're going a potpourri of Skittles, or Skittles. I don't really know. Why did you make the word Skittles and then put a Z instead of an S there? I'm sure it has to do with copyright or some sort of legal thing, but that's one of them. Watermelon? Sure. That's another one. Does it taste like watermelon? I don't know. Someone else. Anybody? Durban poison, which is what's sitting on the end of the rod at the moment. To go with some sour flow. What was the other one? Sour flow sounds right. Yep, sour flow. Which is probably going to be a combination of straight flow with sour diesel. But I don't know that. I'm just guessing. But I'm not going to bong hit into the tape. The tape? I love that I call these tapes. That's so 70s. Well, and 80s and 90s too. Well, 80s for sure. Alright. Now, do I have any chocolate milk? It's in the fridge. That's alright. Gotta pause. Cough and pause. Oop, I can suppress 50% of the time. Alright. So, what I wanted to... my disdain for plausible deniability... do I not share that with everybody, really? I have to. The concept of plausible deniability is such a smarter than the room derivative that if it doesn't rub you the wrong way, it's because you're participating within it. And again, I just think there are these equations in the human condition that are life-sucking on both sides. And a concept like plausible deniability is exactly one of those. It's not that one side is better than the other, it's that both sides lose. When you throw things out there under the shroud of plausible deniability, what you're giving yourself is the fog of war level of satisfaction that actions on the field can only get so far back into the structure of command, and therefore everybody who might have done something reckless is protected from the recklessness of their doings. The rest of us are not. The rest of us are the ones who suffer that recklessness. And so, did you get away with anything? Well, when you create suffering, how much do you get away with? There is no such thing as creating human suffering that then equals out because of the advantages gained on the side of those who gain what? Wealth, status, power? What do you acquire? You acquire nightmares. You acquire the screams of those who you know were dealt the wrongness of your actions as they come at you from the collective in your least connected to this world moments when you know you are facing your inner self. Does that hurt at all? Well, when I find ideas like plausible deniability, that I understand are corrosive in all possible applications. Well, that's the first one to make my list of shit we gotta get rid of. A list I call stuff I just created today. Alright, shit we gotta get rid of. Shit we gotta, G-O-T-T-A, get rid of. R-A-D-U-V. We gotta get rid of plausible deniability. It's a dumb fucking thing. If you're associated with something, take accountability. No more fucking plausible deniability. And how far am I willing to take that? Well, I'm willing to take that all the way to the extreme. Like, that is just a concept that we can go back on and say, well, if you thought you had it, you didn't. So answer for this. Or we just agree that going forward, that is nonsense. You don't get to use it. Whatever way you want to work it. But, hey, corduroys, there's still some life in you. The idea that it's not my fault, but it's entirely my fault. I don't remember how I spoke it. It's somewhere on this list, I know. Not directly my fault, but all my fault. Like slavery. Here's how I know this gets touchy, so I now understand that what humanity really is a constant cycling of progress and regress as an organism at large, interacting with reality, space, and time, one individual at a time. We pull back into that, everything we experience, everything we come to know, and everything we come to see, and as a somehow connected collective, we contribute that to the organism at large. It doesn't always transfer one-to-one to one-to-one. That's not the point even. But it does always transfer. And if all of us are leading fulfilling and curious and knowledge-gaining, perspective, wisdom accumulating lives, the collective grows stronger and stronger, and I think connects more and more. As you learn more and more things, your knowledge becomes more and more connective, and you see the associations across deeper and broader scales of wisdom and knowledge. And if you don't take accountability for the stains that are those that have held us back, like the power structure this city, this country was built on, which is essentially that of racial, segregated work and effort against realized profit and gain, you never get to go anywhere. Because you're sitting inside that red cycle of reduction, where you're being held back by a very simple issue that won't find redress in a social agreement that everybody moves forward from here until forever as the true equals we were born to be. So if I don't feel like that isn't directly my fault, but it's all my fault, well, until it's fixed, I'm the one who benefits. And I'm done thinking somehow someone else is going to fix this. I don't deserve anything other than an equal chance, just like everybody else. This is the one thing that is not my fault, but is all my fault. So, when I say I'm here to fix stuff, I don't know if this belongs on the list we gotta get rid of, but systemic favoritism has to go away. So, I guess I'll put those two on the list for now. I don't need to put any more on the list. God, I can only imagine the number of things that belong on that list, and I'm not working on any of them. But once we identify them, then we know what we should be working on, right? I know we got to get to work on stuff if we're going to make stuff change. So, no more letting plausible deniability cloak those who are up to God knows what. And no more systemic favoritism for anybody. Let's just all have the same equal chance at everything. Let's figure out how to make that work. And if there are repercussions inside of that show clear debts owed, I'm way open to that discussion. And I believe that's a discussion that is healthy for all. So, I don't want to waste your time. Frankly, I got to get ready for this shot. Am I taking a shot? No, I think I'm getting swabbed. Oh, God, I hope it's not that thing up the nose. Please don't let it be that thing up the nose.